Welcome to LaQuita's Toolbox, where we deliver relevant content in the form of tools that empower entrepreneurs to elevate personally and professionally. Good is only good until greater is envisioned. You know there's another level in you. Here we discuss the tools to get you there. Lean in as LaQuita and her guests present you with strategies and insight for unlocking your full potential to realize your boldest dream.
Welcome back to another amazing episode of LaQuita's Toolbox. I am your host, LaQuita Mondley, and I am having a fantastic day today, and I hope and pray that you guys are as well. To all of our returning listeners, thank you so much for your love and support. And if you are new to the Toolbox, please consider hitting that like, share, and subscribe button. Ding that notification bell so that you can receive notifications when we release new episodes weekly of LaQuita's Toolbox. You guys, those of you that are returning, you know the drill. Get something to write with and something to write on, because I have an absolutely amazing guest in the studio with us today, none other than Miss Rebecca Whitman. Now, she is an entrepreneur of entrepreneurs. She is the definition of serial entrepreneurs, lady. So you don't want to miss this. If you're in your car, keep listening. Remember, it's a podcast. So when you get somewhere stable, hit that replay button so you can make sure that you get all of the gems that she's going to release on today. But before we bring her up, let me take a small moment to thank our sponsors at Covenant Press. Covenant Press is a faith-based Christian apparel and accessory shop where we as believers are able to shop online for clothing and accessories that allow us to wear the message of the love of Jesus Christ. Go out to www.covenant-press.com. Again, that's www.covenant-press.com. Don't click on those pop-ups too quickly, because they contain a valuable code that when placed in the appropriate place at checkout, you can receive some amazing savings on your purchases through Covenant Press. Miss Rebecca, welcome to the Toolbox.
Thank you so much, LaQuita, for having me on your show. I'm so happy to be here.
I am so excited to have you here. I love having genuine conversations with amazing women who are doing phenomenal things, because when we get to share a piece of our story and our journey, at least for me, that's how I receive and how I learn best. And I'm all about having the right tools in my toolbox.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. So, Miss Rebecca, I know a little bit about some of the amazing things that you've done, but please take a moment and introduce yourself to the Toolbox audience.
Yeah, so I am so surprised and delighted that I was rated top 5 entrepreneurs to watch in USA Today. It was never my intention to be a top-rated entrepreneur. I moved to LA 23 years ago to pursue my childhood dream of being an actress. And although I had small parts on big shows like Friends, CSI, and 24, I never caught that big break. And I found myself working in the children's acting school business. It was really fun for me because I don't have kids of my own and I love the performing arts. And while the kids were off at school, I would study with great spiritual teachers and attend their lectures. People like Michael Beckwith, Abraham Hicks, Louise Hay, Marianne Williamson, Wayne Dyer, and I started applying their teachings to my life, and I started to see my life transform. I began making 6 figures working part-time in the kids acting school business. I got healthier, but the one area that really challenged me and broke my heart too many times to count was my love life. I had the habit of picking emotionally unavailable narcissistic men. And I tried to change one by marrying him. And we all know how that works out. He did not change. And 3 years after marriage, I filed for divorce. And as my marriage was painfully and slowly unraveling, my dad was painfully and slowly dying. And in one of my last conversations with my dad, he asked me to write a book. A few months later, my dad had passed away. My marriage had been dissolved, and I was sitting across the desk from my financial planner. And he said, Rebecca, I know you lost your dad in your marriage, but I'm shocked to inform you that you are a self-made millionaire and you're having your best financial year ever while you're under loss and tragedy. And I think you should write a book and teach women how to be so resilient. So I wrote a book. It's called How to Make a Six-Figure Income Working Part-Time. And in the book, I divide life into 7 key areas, which I call my 7 pillars of abundance. And when your life is aligned in these 7 key areas, you can be, do, or have anything you want. Now I empower women to go from burned out to balanced, beautiful, and abundant. I coach women one-on-one group coaching, and I'm leading my 2nd international retreat this year in Belize. And I also have a hit podcast that you're going to be on called The Balanced, Beautiful, and Abundant Show.
That is so awesome. I've got so many great questions I want to ask. But before we get started, let me take a moment to let me take a pause. I can't get my words together, y'all. Let me take a pause for a small commercial break, and we'll be right back. The most traumatic times in your life, you've suffered loss after loss, the loss of your father, the loss of your marriage, to be told by your financial advisor, yeah, you lost, but you won. You're having the best financial year. And then out of that loss of your father, you kept a promise and wrote a book
Yes.
that was also advised to you then as well by others. Hey, you should write a book about how you were able to do this despite your circumstances and situations. And out of that, we have you've created the 7 pillars of abundance. So can you talk to us, please talk to us more about those 7 pillars of abundance? Because how did you do that in the midst of all of that? How did you not just, I'm not like becoming a self-made millionaire is nothing to like downplay, but I'm thinking of myself. I don't even know how I would have made it to work, much less earn money that the money can make money for me
Yes.
and do that in that time. So talk to us more, please, about those 7 pillars of abundance.
The 7 pillars of abundance are the 7 key areas of life. And even though I had a lot of pain in my love life and with watching my dad decline, I was really aware to keep all the other areas of my life at a level 10. So the 7 pillars are in order of importance. The first one is spirituality. I am a huge believer in having a morning ritual. And journaling has been such a crucial part of my connection to my higher power, which I choose to call God. And every morning I journal. I met a woman 30 years ago at a 12-step meeting, and she gave me a few life-changing journal prompts that I've been writing every morning for 30 years. I added a few of my own, and it has helped turn my negative situations to learning experiences, be aware of my wins, celebrate others' wins. And with your permission, LaQuita, I'd love to gift your audience with this abundance journal because it's been the #1 tool to keep me positive and connected to the divine. Is that okay with you?
That is absolutely okay with me. Such a great gift, guys. Listen, y'all need to get this episode out to as many people as possible because that journal, 30 years of use, 30 years of applying these principles have been a blessing in every aspect of her life. So principles work. So let's work these principles. I need a journal.
Awesome. The second area of abundance is physical. So I'm a huge believer in putting your body before your business. I believe in working out, moving your body every single morning. The third pillar of abundance is emotional, and all
Mhm.
emotions come from a base emotion of fear or love, or you could say of scarcity or abundance. So thinking there's not enough of whatever it is that you want, not enough time, not enough money, not enough love, not enough energy, that is scarcity thinking. The goal
Mhm.
is to flip it into abundance. I have more than enough time. I have more than enough love, more than enough energy, more than enough money to be happy. So it is a discipline that you want to be aware of when you're in scarcity. And there's two ways to switch into abundance. One is through affirmations. I'm a huge believer in affirmations. After every chapter in this book, you get 3 customized affirmations for each pillar of abundance. For example, I am a spiritual being having a human experience. I have a connection to the divine that gives me peace and ease. And I am able to go with the flow, knowing that everything works out for me. So those are 3 affirmations. Then after emotion is romance. I encourage my clients to walk away from relationships that no longer serve their highest good, to walk away from toxic relationships, because the romance affects all the other areas of your life. And I teach women how to manifest their soulmate in midlife. I'm now happily married to my soulmate for 2 years. And I teach women how to manifest their soulmate in midlife in 7 simple steps. We'll have to save those for another episode.
Yes.
The next area. Oh, yeah. The next area, that's a hot topic. Yep. The next area of abundance after romantic is mental. And that is what you guys are all doing right here, right now, listening to the awesome show, LaQuita's Toolbox. You are working on your mental, growing your mind, working on that growth mindset. It could be listening to a podcast, an Audible, a YouTube, or learning a new skill like cooking a new recipe or learning a new sport. Even travel helps grow our mindset. The next area is social. And we are in an epidemic of loneliness, suicide, depression. People are hiding out at home behind their technology and they're not connecting enough. So now that the world is opened up, I am a big believer in going to live events, go to classes, go to church, go to temple, go to a dog park, wherever, the coffee shop, meet people, go out into the world and connect. Your community helps your immunity. And it's, during that hard year when I was losing my dad in my marriage, it was women in my community that carried me through.
Yes.
And finally, the 7th pillar of abundance is financial. And I am a huge believer in having multiple streams of income. One of my programs is teaching women to create a 6-figure side hustle. And I believe in multiple streams of income. Most coaches say, quit your job, max out your credit cards. You have to put all your cards on the table, but that causes a lot of anxiety, especially for women. So I say, keep your job, get your health insurance and your bills paid, and then create a side hustle where we can turn your passion into profit. And that is an overview of my 7-pillar framework.
That is amazing. I mean, we could pick that. I could pick each one of those, and that's just an episode all by itself. But the thing that I notice most there is this. You say the 7th pillar as finance. We can look at that as that's the biggest, the foundation, and everything goes up from there. But from where I'm sitting in my perspective, if the way I see it is, the order of importance that you laid them out, at least for me personally, I don't know how you, the viewers, are going to review it. But for me personally, if I get those first 6 working synergistically together, then it keeps me in a space mentally, emotionally, spiritually, that I have the energy required to do number 7.
Yeah. So most people, LaQuita, think abundance means money, and they put all their effort and energy into making money. They think, I'll just focus on making money. I'll finally have enough money to hire a trainer and get in shape. Then I'll look really good. I'll attract my soulmate. We'll go on spiritual retreats and we'll socialize with other couples, and then I'll be happy. But you're exactly correct, LaQuita. It is the last piece of the puzzle, and they are in order of importance. So when you have a strong relationship with spirituality, when you're healthy, when you're happy, when you're in love, when you have friends, when you're working on your growth mindset, that is when financial abundance comes in. It is actually in my experience, the last piece of the puzzle to click into place.
Into place. I I said that per my own experience. It's like um I've been married a long time and I
How
have a
many
lot
years?
of children.
How many years
We
and
just
how many children?
we've just celebrated 27 years of marriage and 5 children.
Congratulations. That's inspiring to me.
Thank you. Thank you. It's some hard work, but when you were laying out those 7 pillars, I had like a mental road trip in my mind of things from when we were younger and first married into where we are now. And we put so much energy into earning the money. My husband's climbing, the ladder in the military. Um, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do to earn money in a way that we could afford daycare because we have so many children. Working outside the home became difficult. And so I finally figured out the route to establishing an in-home daycare as my way of still being able to be 100% present for my kids. But I needed to earn money because it made me feel good, like I was contributing, but we needed it. Let's flat out needed it. And we were so busy grinding that the other pillars you were talking about, we didn't pay a lot of attention to them. And it was really what you said. We've got to make this money because we often have more month than money, or we
Mhm.
need to, um, so many things we want our children to do and all of these things. And it wasn't until 2010, and we were married in 98. It
Wow.
wasn't until 2010 we moved out of the country to the UK. And the first 3 months we lived in the UK, we were very angry because no one was in a hurry. The mindset the mindset was different. And one day, my husband and I were at a coffee shop having a conversation, and it just dawned on us, like, why are we in a hurry? Why are we always, all of the negative things, like why are we always chasing this, chasing that? Why aren't we putting our selves first? Putting ourselves first, doing the exercise, spending the time with each other, spending the time with the kids, growing spiritually, growing personally, looking at our own personal development, all of these things. It took us leaving the country to have, and the first 90 days outside of the country, we weren't happy about it. But when it clicked and we started working on the things that matter, the money came. I was like, if one day we woke up and realized, oh, we're not struggling. When did that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
like, when did
amazing.
that happen? Yeah.
It's like when you just chase money, it's like chasing the butterfly, it flies away. But if you just find a way to sit still and feel centered, the
Mhm.
butterfly might just fly and, graze your shoulder or sit on your shoulder. And when you're in survival mode, it's like, well, if I don't work, then I'm not going to get paid. But you can also get really sick if you don't take care of your health. And if you don't take
Yeah.
care of your emotions, you can actually get so sick that you miss out on way more work than if you
Mhm.
just would have taken that, 30 minutes to walk every day, or, just spent an extra 10 minutes in the kitchen cooking rather than doing a microwave meal to get a little healthier. So it really is true that if you want to stay abundant and
Mhm.
balanced, beautiful, like my slogan says, balanced, beautiful, and abundant, you want to take time. And there's different seasons. If you have 5 kids under 18, obviously you're not going to have as much time to socialize with your girlfriends because your priority is your family. But
Right.
just know that, maybe you can socialize with your friends like once a month and have like a coffee or a lunch or a walk with a girlfriend. Just knowing that these 7 key areas of life are there and that you want to touch all of them when you're living your life.
Y- y- You're absolutely correct. Had I had this book been available when I was old, maybe about 25, things would have been a lot different because yes, whether you have the big families like we did or whatever the case may be, I've found that the Lord designed us mind, body, and spirit. And we have to take care of that. And when we take care of
Yeah.
ourselves in that way, um, literally everything else is taken care of. When we take care of ourselves in that way, everything else is taken care of. And it took us a long time to figure that out. When we took care of ourselves individually, and it was scary for me as a parent, and I know a lot of women will attest to this. How can I not put my children first? Or
Mm.
even married women, how can I not put my husband first? Well, here's the deal, sis. If you don't put you first, you have nothing to give them. You will eventually run out and then you'll be upset because nobody is giving to you, but you've trained everybody around you to take and not give. And I had to get over that. Like I had to go through therapy to process that. Like, what is happening here? And not be angry all the time. But your 7 pillars are, I mean, I don't want to say revolutionary because it's practical,
Right.
but it is revolutionary. It makes you stop and think and do the simple things because we can have time for simple things like putting ourselves first. But what are we willing to sacrifice and recognize that we need to get rid of in order to be able to put ourselves first and know that that's not selfish, is necessary and it's life giving to me. Because if I can't give it to me, I don't have anything to give to the people who I'm killing myself to give stuff to.
That's right. I like to say that self-care is not selfish
Mm,
because the worst thing you could call a woman is selfish. Women are
yeah.
taught to nurture and give to everyone else first and put themselves last. But if a woman is coming from depletion and burnout, she's not going to
Mhm.
be a good mom. She's not going to be a good wife. She's not going to be a joyful, cheerful giver. She's going to be a resentful giver and a
Mm,
tired giver.
mhm.
And when you are burned out, you're not of maximum service to God and to your fellows. So we want to give from a full cup, pour
Mhm.
into yourself first with all 7 pillars, with having a morning practice of prayer, journaling, meditation, with exercise, with keeping your emotions in abundance and love, not letting yourself drop down to fear and scarcity. Socialize, have fun, have that date night, do all that stuff. And then you can show up and be a better mom and be a better boss, be a better employee, sister, a daughter when you're full of joy.
Y- Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And more yeses on top of that. Ladies, I hope you've been listening. I hope you have been listening. And this is one of those episodes where you kind of got to listen to it once or twice and then come back and take some notes on it. It has to, you have to roll this over in your spirit. You have to think on this and meditate on it because some of you may be saying, LaQuita and Rebecca, y'all make it sound so easy because honestly, it is. We make it hard by carrying a burden that we were never designed to carry. Like all of these things that the world has said or culture has said that we have to be, it's not true. And as Rebecca said, self care and putting yourself first is not selfish at all, but it is what will make you one of the tools that you need in your toolbox to help you become the best version of yourself at any given moment. Miss Rebecca, I've definitely been enjoying this conversation. But before we wrap it up, and I hate to wrap it up, I'm inviting you back to another
Thank
amazing episode of LaQuita's Toolbox because I really want to take some time and unpack maybe one or two of your pillars and talk more about some of the programs that you have.
you.
And making sure that the LaQuita's Toolbox audience knows when and how to connect with you. So please, before we wrap up, leave us one more tool and let us know how to connect with you and what you have coming up.
Thank you. I will leave you with one more tool, and that is keeping your mind in the present. When you think about the past, it's usually depression or regret. I am a recovering perfectionist. So it's like using the words could have, would have, and should have are ways that I used to beat myself up. Take would have, could have, and should have out of your vocabulary. The past, it's over, it's done. It all happened the way it was supposed to, and your divine design by God. Stop second guessing yourself in the past. The future is anxiety. Oh my God, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to take care of my kids? What's going to happen? What's going to happen in the world? You know, there's wars, there's an election, there's all kinds of stuff to worry about in the future where we could be in anxiety, staying way out ahead of ourselves, catastrophizing. I am going to leave you with the tool of staying in the present moment. Now, how do you get into the present moment? You use your 5 senses. What am I seeing? What am I smelling? What am I tasting? What am I touching? What am I listening to? And you get grounded in your 5 senses. And if you're still in your head, by the way, if you're in your head, you're dead. But if you still can't get into the senses and into your body, then just do the next right thing. If you are in overwhelm, do the next indicated action. Ask God. I can tell that you guys speak about God on this show. Jesus, what is my next indicated action? Guide my feet. Guide my feet. Your head can be spinning. Guide my feet. What is my next right step? And then you will be amazed if you keep asking for guidance for the next right step and the next right step and the next right step. Before you know it, your day will be over and you will have had a peaceful day. And that is the goal, to live a life of peace, ease, and spiritual dignity.
I love that. Peace, ease, and spiritual dignity. You should write a book on that. I love that. Peace, ease, and spiritual dignity. Love it, love it, love it. Listen, Miss Rebecca, it has been my pleasure. And again, we're going to have you on again real soon so we can talk more about the 7 pillars of abundance and stay connected with you, because I am a firm believer in having the right tools in your toolbox, and not just having them, but knowing how to use them and easily implement them so they can go and become a part of who you are, to create the change you need to be, in order to become the best version of yourself. Thank you again. Thank you to those that are tuned in to this episode of LaQuita's Toolbox. We appreciate you and love you. Thank you so much for that support. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button on your favorite podcast listening platforms. Don't forget to ring that notification bell as well, so you can be notified when we release new episodes of LaQuita's Toolbox. Until next time, I am your host, LaQuita Monley. You guys be blessed and have an amazing.
I forgot to say how to stay in touch with me. So
you did. So let's get that.
I'm so sorry. Thank you for having me on your show. I'd love to stay in touch with your amazing audience. You can find me on Instagram at Rebecca E. Whitman. LaQuita is going to give you that free journal prompt with my Linktree link. And you can also go to my website, Rebecca Elizabeth Whitman with a Z. Thank you so much for having me on this amazing show. And I love LaQuita's Toolbox. I can't wait to be back.
No problem. Thank you. Listen, guys, make sure you connect with her IG. It's awesome. I was trolling it recently. So yes, she's got some amazing things there. And I know we do have a lot of you guys that are also on LinkedIn. She is also showing up absolutely fire on LinkedIn as well. So make sure you connect with her, stay in connection, look in the show notes, find that Linktree, get that journal so that you can begin to work on the best version of you. Until next time, I'm LaQuita Monley. You guys be blessed and have an amazing rest of your day. Take care.